Guys, I need to be all sorts of real with you. So, I just got done watching Westworld with Steph yesterday, last night. I haven't slept since then. I wrote a really involved post about Westworld that I've been meaning to write since I saw Chappie in 2014. And I have breakfast with Marcus at 9. And a whole bunch of reading list emails to go through between now and then. But I just want to talk to you briefly about... One second, I need to turn this down. This is the theme from Westworld, actually. Anyway, I went back through a bunch of my old blogs last night and read letters that I wrote to friends over the course of the last 5 years. Some of the stuff I've written to myself over the course of the last 5 years. Did a wee bit of introspection, stuff like that. I am just gonna ramble for a second. I feel like I have a lot of stuff to do. I have proposals to send out, invoices, I have trips to plan and flights to check on, and it's all really exciting stuff. But it distracts very effectively from the stuff that I think matters most in life. Having traveled a lot, having hung out with people on a regular basis for, I've had a really good, life project balance since probably junior year of college. Or by good, I mean I'm happy with it. I spend maybe half my time hanging out with different people, meeting new people, or hanging out with friends or family. And I spend half my time working on stuff that is interesting to me. Unfortunately, lately it's been either this video project, which is not unfortunate, I'm very happy about it, or it's been client work from this summer, which is also great because it pays me, but none of the passion project thinking writing stuff that I worked on a lot late 2014, early 2015. And it's been a while since I've done that seriously. I've started writing little daily posts that I'm going to start queuing a month ahead of time come January. I think that much of a buffer will let things be really easy and fun. I just got to figure out how to queue those. But I'm most worried about not doing enough self-assessment, not meditating, not reflecting, not really paying attention to what I could do better or what I'm not doing effectively. It's been over a year since I've asked for critical feedback from friends. I usually, every 6 months, ask, hey, what don't you like about me? What could I do better? What am I not doing well at? I feel like I've just become really sensitive to my own ego in the last year in a way that I haven't been since the beginning of college. And I don't like that, but I think it is just a function of having to be fairly solidified person with a distinct personality for a time being. And what I mean by that is just that in other parts of my life I've been very used to adapting and changing who I am and what I'm working on based on the circumstance that I'm in. But this year I've been meeting and talking to so many people that I really, especially at the beginning of the year, was feeling the need to have a solidified set of projects and identity. It's something that I've been working on for a long time and that I will work on long into the future, and have a consistent image of who I am and what I'm working on, just because it makes it easier to talk to people. I tend to want to change at a pretty fast pace and learn and grow and be different, change my mind and be wrong. And I don't know whether it's just a function of no longer being, neck deep in adolescence, but toward the end of it, or if it's a function of all the networking and meeting new people that I did this year and all of the emotional work of figuring out how to relate to new types of people, not leaving me room to do the emotional work with myself. I don't know if any of that makes any sense, but that's how it feels to me. So maybe you can relate, maybe not. With that said, I'm a little stressed out about making the remaining 200 videos in the next month. I mean, I'm not terribly behind, but I am behind enough that like 5 videos a day is sort of the thing I need to do, which means I'm going to end up doing like 30 or 60 videos a day for 2 or 3 days and then just calling it done, making those kind of videos. And we've done that before. It's not so bad. It actually turns out pretty cool a lot of the time, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But it's also stressful because it occupies a lot of my like idle thought process. Again, really need to get back into meditating. And so with all of the things that I've just talked about in the last 5 minutes on my plate, I'm worrying that I'm not paying enough attention to the things that are really, really important, the long-term goals. The stuff like bridge, education, innovation stuff, etc., so forth and so on. Now, I think that's just an idle worry and it's not based in fact, and here's why. I wrote a really in-depth long-term goal list, I guess you could call it, the beginning of last year, the end of last year. I don't know what to... last January or December. And it essentially spelled out what I need to do in a timeline like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30, 50, and 80, and then at the end of my life. Sort of like the things I want to have accomplished in those spans of time. And, like, to be honest, just this year I've accomplished what I thought I could accomplish in closer to 3 years. I think I've overshot my 1 year goal pretty far. I may not have fully accomplished all the goals for the 3-year plan. But that makes me feel pretty extraordinary. And I am hopeful that I am just pushing myself, like I usually do, harder than I need to. It results in good things, but it also means that a lot of my worries are not justified. However, thinking that doesn't really help me get anything more done, so I probably won't worry about whether or not my concerns are justified or not. I will probably just continue to work on the next thing with the same urgency that I always have, because forward progress is really important. This video is just a reminder to myself to refocus back on the long-term things just for a moment. I think probably December will do that all on its own, and I don't really need to remind myself to do that. Certainly New Year's will cause that to happen. And I think I'm going to rewrite another long-term plan and see how it changed from last year's without reading last year's. And then, yeah, I just think that'll be interesting to see what's new. What I did is I started from the end of my life. Like, how do you want the world to be different when you die? Is the question I asked myself. And then I worked my way back in, like, realistic increments. Like, oh, what would be reasonable to accomplish the last 30 years of my life? How about the first 50 years of my life? How about just in the next 10 years? How about in the next 3 years? If you work your way back like that, it's kind of surprisingly simple to work your way from, like, here's what I want my legacy to be. Here's what I want my life's work to be. Here's what would thrill me if I could change the world in this way. Work your way back in very simple, small steps and pieces toward what you need to do this year or this month or today. And I think that's a really cool thing to have stumbled on. I haven't really shared it, and I think I might, because it's about that time of year. It might be useful to other people too. So what confuses me most about other people is that they don't know how they want to change the world. Like, it's been so obvious to me for so long that things are broken and people are terrible to each other and companies are not fair and universities are a scam, and, like, there's so much that could be improved about the world, but people don't feel like they can do anything about it. People don't have any sense of agency or of their own ability to change things, or if they do, they don't even want to. And, like, you know, TV is only so interesting, right? Why not try to change the world? That's a part of me that I worry people can't relate to. And that I worry just makes me sound insane. And maybe it does. But maybe that's crazy in a good way. Because if some people aren't crazy like that, everything would just stay the same, I think. Okay, that's my floor talk. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm gonna get my clothes out of the dryer. It's so bright.